Hello, my name's Andy and welcome to the garage. Well, here's my next restoration, Yardley McLaren Ford M19A. Play one, it's all still there. This would have been a donation from another channel, either Kev's Banger Racers or Martin Dare's Dinky Toy Restorations. I've got a few of these. This is the most intact one, so this is the one I'm going to do. I've been looking forward to doing another F1 car. I did do a Ferrari in the middle of last year. Well, here is our Yardley McLaren off the turntable. Heavily play worn, as you can see, decals, stickers, worn. Both wing mirrors there, and the glass is good. I've got 5 of these, which is why I picked this one, because at least it's intact. 2 screw base to take apart, so that's really nice. Wheels have still got a lot of tread. It's not been pushed along a hard surface, maybe just a carpet. 1/36 scale, so it's going to be nice taking that one apart in a minute. Here we are with our Yardley McLaren and its 2 screw base. Quite heavy metal base. Rear section don't want to come yet. Front section's out. Driver's out. Careful with that glass. It's like it's sort of clipped in a bit. A bit closer to that before I give that a bit of pressure. Right. That wiggles knocked out the metal spoiler. Air scoop. Suspension's free. That's all metal. Sure if that, I think that's all one part. It's just a matter, you can see there, that's clipped in and held in, so they're going to have to be nipped. And out it comes out the top with the steering wheel and the rear view mirrors in one. So that was quite easy. Well, here is our little McLaren, just ready to go in the caustic soda. Just thought we'd take a look at it. This is metal, but how you get these wheels off, I'm not sure. I've just noticed one of them's damaged, but I've got another McLaren, so I should be able to rescue the inner for this side. So that's just gonna probably be masked and sprayed, or just chrome penned. Not sure. It's definitely going into the caustic. That's okay as it is. I think that's off to polish up okay. The little guy, he'll just need a scrub. He's original. Glass obviously needs a tidy. I've taken some measurements from this. I've got the decals ready to go. It's a bit of gold there, so I've got a plan for that. That can go in the caustic. And I see we've got both wheels correct there. And we have a steering wheel with some side mirrors. So next step is to get those 2 into the caustic. Right, we're back with our Yardley McLaren. As you can see, it's out the caustic soda. Doesn't look too bad. Just the tail plane. Just move the camera down. I did manage to rescue, they didn't get badly affected by the caustic soda, the stickers. So I've got them as reference, even though I've already made my own decals. Let's move the camera back there. As you can see, I've got a fleet of McLarens. This one's broke, that one's got screen broke. This one's not too bad. This one was fine. what was wrong with this one was one of these wheel inserts was missing. So I've got two on the good one. I've got a broken, slightly broken one on there. And there, that'll need chroming. So I'm probably going to take it off that one because that is the worst one. And that'll then continue to be a parts car. So that's in progress. Incidentally, this other beat up one, that had the trim, but it lost the shine. So we've got ample spare parts. We're back with our Yardley McLaren. There is a casting line there, that is a casting line, but there is a true line, and the base has created that. There's like a little bevel there in the pictures of the real thing. So this casting line needs to come off both sides. Ends of the spoiler, the front spoiler, bit of tidying up, and on the air scoop, all this round here. So just going to get a small file and we'll get on with that. I'm going to use a round file. It won't create any edges. There we are. Now on the photos, this all blends into one. We can see where I'm going with that. Slowly getting rid of that line. It should be smooth. You shouldn't be able to see it once paint's on it. It's just a matter of doing the best you can. And the same here as well. So I'll get on with that and get back to you when it's done. So there we are, the line's gone. Just been going over it with a rounded file. Like that. Trying to blend it. Just go over it with a bit of paper. Get it a bit better. Now for the other side. Right. All the casting marks have gone. It's back together. There's the line you should see. That's all okay. What we need to do is now get this polished and into primer. Now I've been polishing our McLaren, and what we're left with is a tough residual of where those decal stickers were. At the front there, bit on the side. So I'm going to try a bit of 120 grit paper to try and remove those. So here we go. And it is doing the trick. It's got to be this thick. 400 won't move that stuff. Fortunately, there's no detailed casting there. It is flat. That one's gone. That side's gone. Now I have to be careful here because there are two lines there which you can maybe see clearer on this, and there's a line across there. So we're going to have to get a bit of a point. I don't want to resort to power tools because it's easy to for them to get carried away, and you lose more than you bargained for. Gone on both sides, gone on the front. What I've got now is some 400, and I'll just go over that, make it a bit better. Same down there. Now 400 can take the casting lines out, but not as easily. I'll just go over the air scoop as well. What I can do now is clean them in some white spirit and get the undercoat on. I'm not touching the bottom. I'm going to try and just polish that up. So it's looking good. It's looking good. As you can see, our McLaren is out of paint. Very nice she looks. Not a lot to paint, obviously. I masked off the back after the primer went on because that's going to be matte black. Here's one of the donor vehicles. So next job is to paint this matte black, mask off the side so we can put this orange sort of stripe down each side. Now that's not hard enough to mask yet in my opinion, so we're going to have to wait a while for that. Now all the scrappers I had that didn't have the decals on each side, they only had one side, so a bit of research on Google will tell us how everything's supposed to look. What we can do while we're waiting for this white paint to harden is just get some of that black matte paint done on the engine. I've put a glove on because I don't want to risk fingerprints. That came around here. There, that's the black done. Always fine, there's little spots of white you need to go over. Of course we need to do this top of the engine in silver. As you can see, the matte of the engine's been done on the McLaren, which leaves the silver to do, and this orange line, which was paint on the original model. So I think next is a bit of masking to get this line right. Okay, our McLaren is now masked up, as you can see, and it's good that there's a line to the bottom of the engine there and under that suspension mount, and the same the other side. And I've got a little mount to put it on when it's drying. So here we go. I've got a lot bigger brush than normal. It's 22 degrees in the garage today, and that paint is drying as soon as it hits, really. So that is the first coat on. I think it's going to need two, and it won't be long before I can put the second coat on. Here we go with the second coat. Don't want any lines. Right, and we can pull that tape straight off. There you are. Ooh, just a bit off centre there. That side's perfect. Let's not panic. Just put that down. Got one of these little sticks if we need it. Just where that had nipped, just got a little stick. Just like that. Scrape the excess away. That's looking good. Okay, we've had two McLarens, so we've got two drivers, so we'll put those into the sonic cleaner. We've got a better set of wheels and a worse set, but we'll put them both in. We've got one complete steering wheel and mirrors, we'll put that in. We've got a good glass and a not so good, but we'll clean that because one day we might need that to be retrievable. And I've got a different rear suspension to what I had because it has got both the inserts, so I'm just hoping a clean and a going over with the Molotow pen will bring that back right. So just a squirt of washing up liquid in there, that's all I use. Give it a swish round. Lid on, and I normally do it in 3 minutes bursts and maybe 6 minutes, maybe 9 minutes. Okay, the ultrasonic's finished, so let's see what we've got, shall we? Not a brilliant driver there. Second driver does look better. Got his original silver visor. Might need that stripe touching up, so there's work to do on one or more drivers. That looks more shiny than it was. Two fronts, they've come out well. This one probably won't need any work. That one obviously didn't have the chrome inserts. And our steering wheel and mirrors, that looks okay. Chrome needs touching up obviously. Our broken glass and our pristine glass. There might be a slight tint of colour in these, they're not pure clear, so we'll let those dry off. Looking at our McLaren, the orange has gone on really nice, but I think on close inspection, you can't see on the camera, it does need a second coat. So we can put that to one side and probably do that with the silver there as well. These are wheels off a donor vehicle, the rears, and that chrome's not bad. I think that really just needs a touch up with a Molotow pen. These are the original fronts and they're okay. Maybe some black around the wheels themselves. The driver, this is the better of the drivers. I think full restart. You can just see there are some casting lines on in there. There you can see them now. They need taking off and then a full repaint. Glass, not bad at all. Bit hazed is what I'd say, if you can see that there. There we are. So 2000, 5000 wet and dry. Bit of auto salt and dip it in the floor polish. I've got to check Google Images, but this car is going back together as it was, as the model was, not the actual car. The actual car, what I've researched, had a lot more decals, and to be honest, putting a Goodyear decal on the end of there, that front wing, that's not going to be easy. That is really small. So I've elected to keep this one as the model was. So we just need to chrome these mirrors. So the first thing to do is get on with this little bit of silver in. Because very little of this will be seen. One of the things you do need to do, I've found, is really look at it from all angles. Nothing more annoying than thinking you've finished, come back the next day and find you missed a bit and you're a day behind. And that looks fine, so we can leave that there. Okay, I've got a selection of small files here. Must admit, I normally prefer this round file. And I'm just going to work on these casting lines. It's mainly around the helmet and down the side here. Now, I don't think this line will be seen anyway in the cockpit. I'm still taking it off just in case. And it'll be the same the other side. There. I'll finish that off and then we'll be able to get some white paint on him. Here is our driver, and I'm going to paint him satin white. We're going to go over all white first, then put those orange lines back on the helmet and the helmet itself. Okay, we're back with the rear suspension unit, and all that can be seen of it, either side, and the exhausts. And to be honest, the exhausts are fine, it's just this little bit underneath. So we've got some Molotov here. I'm just going to touch those up, that's just wear and tear. No need to take all the chrome off and re-chrome it. It's not going to make it any significantly better, especially when there's only that bit and that bit to be seen. And while we're at it, we can do the wheels. All I've been doing is getting an old Molotov pen that's had it, giving it a good shake, and then hoping after pressing down it'll dump some Molotov, which it has done. Of course, it never wants to let it go when you don't want it to. When you want it to, there we go. One side done. Just have a go at these mirrors. Stick to hold that, shouldn't I, straight away? My fault. Now what I'm going to do on the wheels is try and use this CD marker pen. I don't really want to paint them because it's quite detailed tread, and I was hoping if I just went round this like that, it would freshen them up without destroying any detail. And as you can see, it seems to be going okay. So I'll keep on with that. This gives a good result as paint sometimes, and it's a lot quicker and a lot less messy. There's no drying time as such. Right, and we'll do the same to the rears. Right, I'll get back to you when that's finished. We are with the glass of our McLaren. We're just going to go around with a bit of 2000 first. Wet and dry. Out of all the McLarens I had, this was the only one with the perfect cockpit. I had another one that was passable, fixable. This was the best. I'll keep on that with that. It will be some 5000 next, then some auto salt, and then dipping it in the floor polish. As you can see, things are shaping up now. What I've got to do is just get a bit of black into this air scoop. What I had to do now was get a really small cocktail stick and just push it in around the edges, but that looks pretty good, I think you'll agree. Here we are with our McLaren, as you can see, ready for assembly or decals. Now I think I'm going to put the decals on first so the wheels don't get in the way. I've got a few spare ones. I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to apply them. You'll see about that later. For instance, at the moment I'm toying with putting the number on the side as a separate decal, but we'll have to see how we go. What I have got is a big A4 picture just printed off of how it should look, so we've got a good reference there. So let's get on with it. Right, so the first one up is the Yardley logo on the back. That looks fine. Can put that to one side. Now we're going to do our 55 on the front, and I've chosen to do the number separate to the Gulf logos. So there we have that done. Now we've got these little separate Gulf logos to put on. So we can do those next. Just going to put our second Gulf logo on. Now the camera ran out of memory when I put the first one on, so that's why you're seeing the second one. They look okay. Now we've got this little Yardley one to cut out and put at the bottom here. So here goes with the Yardley logo again. And that's about as small as you can print and get it looking good with an inkjet. That's okay. Right, we're just putting this key decal on now. And it's key because these should touch where it meets. Now even on the model, looking at the picture I have of it in front of me, these were not good joins. Right, here we go with this side decal. Right, now for the other side. This is how I got the circle printed on white paper, because this 55 has to be on a white background. Put this little cutout tube over, drew round with a pen, and then obviously cut it out with a pair of scissors. Right, I've just got on this side decal. It's my fourth go. I'm gonna have to touch it up with a marker pen, as you can see, because I've lost a bit of the black. I didn't film it because if this one hadn't worked, I'd have to go back to print. But as you can see from the front, she is sort of looking okay. And as you can see here on this original one, these never truly met. Leaving that as it is, and I've got some separate Yardley McLarens to put on, and there they are. There's the first one. And that can go on here because this side's good to go. Right, we're just going to put this Yardley sign on. As you can see, the white will just be under there. I've already done the other side. I think that's good as it's going to get. Not too bad. Could have been better, but it is what it is. next we will be on assembly. Now I've got a couple of the other scrappers here. This one could be retrieved because the glass is good, so I could do the all orange version that came out in 1971. Now you can see there it's just got the Goodyear sign. These cars ran Goodyear tyres all the time. I've not put that on mine for the simple reason that as you can see here on these, disappeared into mush because of the quality of the printer that I've got. Now I haven't got one of the Goodyear ones left, but there was really nothing to see. As you can see, we are on assembly. We've got a reference car here at the back. So let's get going, shall we? Now the first thing I think to put in is the mirrors and the steering wheel. They need to be go like that, and there is a little bit that goes underneath, look. Then the glass, which goes in backwards. So there's a little tab. Just squeeze it in till it fits firmly. Next up is our driver. Now he's going to have to click in past these two tabs here without breaking them. Not in right yet. He's in. And he looks correct. Maybe he can go back a bit. That's it. He looks fine. Excellent. Next up is the rear suspension. Clipped in nicely, and Yardley McLaren spoiler comes through the back there. Then we have our front suspension, which goes like that. It won't go in the wrong way, so keep twisting it. Let's check our reference model. Yeah, curved bits are underneath, they're underneath. Then you can put on our rear. Feels good. Screw in. Tighten that one up yet. This one at the back. It's not quite right here at the front. And there is our Yardley McLaren before and after, and it's nice to be able to show you them both in both shots. So the next time you see this one, it will be on the turntable. This is what we started with. Play 1, decals peeling, Yardley McLaren. Seen better days. Let's see what we've ended up with, shall we? Because here it is now. Well, here is our Yardley McLaren by Corgi M19A. Great looking car, great paint scheme, love these 70s racers. This car was designed for the 71 season by Ralph Bellamy, nicknamed the Alligator car because of that pear-shaped cockpit. Just in the side panels there were two petrol tanks, each holding 68 litres of fuel, one either side. It was powered by a 3-litre Cosworth DFV V8 engine with a Hewland 5-speed gearbox, and it kicked out 480 brake horsepower at 10,800 RPM. It didn't do too well in the 71 season due to reliability issues and finished only 6th in the Constructors' Championship. In 1972 the M19C came out and the car took on the Yardley colour scheme with Yardley as a sponsor. Prior to that it had always been all orange. In that season it took its first ever win in South Africa at Kyalami with Denny Hume in the M19A, and overall it was third in the Constructors' Championship. It last raced in 73 at the South African GP as well, with Jody Scheckter and Peter Revson finishing 2nd and 9th, and 5th was Denny Hume in an M25, which would go on to replace this car. In its career it had 13 podium finishes and that one win in 1972 in South Africa. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've liked this restoration. Please like and subscribe if you have so. It does help motivate me and it keeps the channel going, and a new model will keep coming out every week. So stay safe and take care. I leave you with the McLaren M19A F1 race car of 1972. Thank you. No, I'm not happy with that. It's got to come off. I'm loath to do that because I haven't got many of these left.